Welcome to episode 181 of the Muck Podcast, a member of the Odd Pods Media Network. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Jaramillo.
And I'm Hillary Doherty. Hi! Very good. Ooh, that was like the best one ever.
Wow.
What's up? I
gotta do breathing exercises before I do that.
Oh, come on. You got it. You got it. So many things to talk about.
Yes.
First of all, I chopped my hair off.
It's so cute.
I love a good shag hairdo, and I keep seeing them. I don't know, Instagram, these sons of bitches at Instagram. You, Zuckerberg. Is that his last name?
Zuckerberg.
You got me, bitch. And I saw this amazing shaggy hairdo, and I'm like, I'm going to do this for summer. And I cut my hair. Because I've worn it the same way forever. Because I like it. It looks good. It's easy. I'm a working gal. All right. I don't have time for this. And cut my hair. And I really loved it. Like I was able, listen, I had blisters on my fingers and my thumb from like curling it. Like you have to curl each piece and like spray it and like do this whole thing.
Gosh.
And then you go like this and you shag it. Like you make it look crazy. And
can't you just...
Yes, well, that's my plan. Like, listen, when my hair's, like, I take a shower and it, like, air dries, my hair's very wavy. Yes. So I just wanted to put a little thing in it and, like, move on. And that's not really what the gig is. Maybe I'll try it, but not on a day when I have to be on camera. Like, I can't try it on Saturday. So I figured it out finally, after a couple days, how to do it. But because we live in what is the next level of hell as far as heat goes and humidity, swamp, and it's summertime and 90 degrees with like the humidity hitting you, my hair goes wah wah. And so I'm still figuring it out. But you know, I like it. It's weird to have short hair, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, but it doesn't look short.
Yeah, it doesn't?
No.
No. It's short for me. My hair's usually super long.
Yeah, but it doesn't look, I think anything that's past the shoulders, it's not a shocking short.
The way you just said shoulders was very Pennsylvania.
It was?
Yeah, shoulders.
Oh.
They lose that L somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Hey, anyway, it's coming back. All these years trying to hide it, but it's coming back.
Damn it.
So I wanted to start with something I thought was so fucking funny. So I don't know what's going on, but I love it. But these trolls on Instagram,
oh God,
girl, I laugh so fucking hard.
They like us so much.
They do, but also when you post these videos, you put very interesting hashtags. And the one I think grabbed these guys was white privilege, because there's nothing that a white man hates more than being told he's got it better than other people in some way, right? He hates it.
Poor man.
So I started screaming about white man confidence, which is a real thing. It's a real fucking thing.
It is.
So
I've seen like so many different posts about that too. Yeah. Like that, if the most confident woman could just have like a sliver of like what a confident man has, like, you know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah. Even if she did, she'd be called all kinds of names. A bitch.
Oh,
whatever.
No, she'd be run out.
Yeah. Anyway. The comments were great. One of them said, "It's just confidence." One of them said, "What the fuck?" The other one said, "What the fuck is this?" One of them said, "This is a good one. Tell me you're a single cat lady without telling me you're a single cat lady." To which I say, do you know how hard I had to work to get to a single cat lady status?
Listen.
Like that's a high level of life for me.
That's a compliment.
I was like, you're fucking right, I'm a single cat lady. I went through hell to get there, bitch. You have no idea. And also my favorite ever said, the fuck this guy do to you? And to which I say, sit down, sir, and let me tell you all the things that men have done to me.
Why doesn't he even listen to that episode of the podcast so that he can see in action? Yeah. Although, how great was it that he lost the...
Oh, my God.
Joe Morrissey lost the primary.
Yes. Tina covered Joe Morrissey. We were screaming. We were yelling at you, Virginia. Get your shit together.
And you did.
And you did. The day before, on June 20th, the day before that podcast episode came out, he lost his primary to a progressive candidate.
Thank God.
Amazing. I sent it to Tina. I'm like, holy shit. And it was an upset. Like, people were like, holy fuck. Yeah. They couldn't believe it. But how could you not?
They're tired of it.
Yeah, because right now, that divorce, I think, is dragging him too. Like, he's got enough baggage already, but then with that on top of it, it just doesn't look good.
I'm so happy that she is leaving him.
Yeah, me too.
And letting people know, like, here's the real story.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to give her shit about why she didn't say stuff before, she was 17 years old.
Yeah. Come on.
In a relationship with someone who had power over her.
Yeah.
What is she supposed to say?
Yeah.
So.
He's a piece of shit.
Ugh.
So, bye.
Bye.
We keep now, this week we didn't celebrate, but we had acknowledged that it's been a year since Roe v. Wade has been overturned by the United States Supreme Court. And what is coming along now, which we've learned since and are continuing to learn, is how fucking corrupt this court is.
Oh
it is insane. And now Scalia.
Yes.
The stuff coming out about Justice Scalia is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
The thing, though, that is most shocking is that there is no ethics rules for SCOTUS.
Right.
That to me blows my mind. And I've seen so many different posts about this, but like the fact that like I saw some post that was like my friend is like some kind of like local government something or other that doesn't even want to take flowers because they're so afraid of like that it could be construed as a gift.
Right.
And these guys are taking millions and millions of dollars. It's such bullshit.
Yeah. Completely financially benefiting from these things. I'm sorry, but where are you, Congress? What are you doing? What are you doing? They're corrupt, and they're making laws that are affecting millions and millions of people. And to what end? The other thing that's so fucking weird to me is everybody they are associated with have cases in front of the court.
Yeah.
They're always lawyers with cases in front of the court. I mean, can't you make friends with anybody who's doesn't have a case in front of the fucking Supreme Court?
And wouldn't you be a little suspicious that suddenly this rich ass person who has a case in front of the court wants to give you, rides on yachts and trips to wherever the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
To act like you're stupid and don't know that it's a problem to take any kind of monetary anything or trip or whatever, like you're stupid.
Yeah. Also, like, maybe judges, they're just like us, and they're, like, completely taken in by money and, like, flashing, like, oh, I'm going to take you on a boat, I'm going to take you on a trip. Maybe they're just like, ooh, this is really nice. I understand, but I think that and also they've gotten away with it for so long. Just like with Joe Morrissey, when I was listening to that episode last week, and we were talking, and this guy was at the court or the jail, and he's screaming at deputies, and I said, this is what happens when you allow someone to get away with shit for so long. They think they're invincible. Same thing with the Supreme Court. You have to hold these motherfuckers accountable. That's literally your job. You're the one branch of government that's supposed to check them. Right. That's it.
The top.
Yes.
The top.
It's unacceptable. And also that trickles down. So if these guys think they can do it, a federal judge thinks they can do it, a county judge thinks they can do it. There's a reason these laws exist. It's because humans are susceptible to bribes. They're susceptible to take things that they're not supposed to, and they're supposed to be above that.
We're weak.
These people clearly are not.
No, and how hard is it to put in some ethics rules?
Yeah.
That should be something both sides of the aisle should agree on. This isn't hard. And it isn't hard, like, to say, hey, guys, let's have some ethics rules and be done with it. Like why, what could be a negative about that? Like, he won't be able to take a bribe anymore. Like
you know how sometimes district attorneys will get, or a judge will get caught doing something, or they find out that they were taking money or whatever, and so all their cases now have to be looked at. Of like, and people get taken, they get released from jail because the person who was trying them was corrupt.
Oh, God.
Could that happen here? Could these cases
it should happen
that
here.
Show any sort of bias because they had gifts from these people? Shouldn't those cases be looked at?
If I was the person who lost on those cases, I would certainly be up in arms about it. But where are you going to go? To SCOTUS?
Right. It's fucked up.
It is.
And it's disappointing.
And the thing that is like that makes me sick about all of it too is that, the Senate and that stupid turkey neck blocked for over a year any choice that Obama wanted to have to put on that goddamn court. And then railroaded like 3 people in under Trump. And they're screwing our country over for their own monetary interests. And like, if you can't see it, there's nothing else. What else can you say to somebody? It's lunacy. It's lunacy. The same thing with like these stupid billionaires like everyone's like freaking out about the billionaires.
Oh, the submarine.
The submarine guys, right? Like it's like because they're rich people, and yes, it's a unique situation. We don't see it every day. But the fact is there was, a boat full of immigrants that nobody gives a shit about. Everyone is so concerned about people with money, and it's so gross. It's so gross.
It is gross. And also, I was talking about this yesterday. The fact that, like, if you look at that submarine, the fact that they got in it is such a rich person thing, too. They think they're invincible. If you take any poor or middle-class person and say, hey, get in this boat, we're going to take you two miles down or whatever, I'd be like, I'm going to fucking die in there. Yeah. Like, there's no fuck, I'm not risking my life for this shit. Small. But rich people think they're going to live like this, nothing bad is going to happen to them. They believe shenanigans. If I had met the guy in that video that I saw from CBS, I think Sunday mornings, whatever, when they're discussing the CEO of the company, talking about submarine, and he showed that game controller, I would have said, I'm smelling the bullshit from a mile away. Well, but rich people don't have that sort of detection of bullshit.
Well, and the fact that guy was so dismissive about regulations.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, if you have regulations, you're scared, and like all of this like nutty shit. And then you're going to get into a submarine with them. Like, that's a bad choice, man.
Oh, my God. When he held up that game controller, I thought, my God, everyone's going to die.
Xbox.
And then the other thing that was fucked, too, is there was like 7 more of these trips planned throughout the rest of the summer. This is the first one.
$250,000 a pop. It's so gross.
It's really gross.
It's like... Wow,
and it's
$250,000 for this short little ride. How long? Because there was someone that did go on it before and had talked about like when he went, blah blah blah. $250,000. That's more than.
That's what I think it is too. I'm gonna do something that nobody else is doing. Yeah. Like when Richard Branson or whoever was throwing people up into space. Please. I mean, die already. All right. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Well, we could get them all to go to space and go to the bottom of the sea, and maybe things will get better.
And then one day we'll be standing on a pier and looking out the ocean like that's where we buried all the rich people. Like the fucking Hunger Games.
Oh my God.
How about the Moms for Liberty newsletter?
Oh my God.
That quotes fucking Hitler.
Yeah.
This is another thing. This is another group of people. I read a thread this morning on Twitter about Moms for Liberty. I gotta tell you, this is like, they're definitely a right-wing extremist group who upholds everything that is what, white supremacy is about. And they do it under the cover and blanket of we're just parental rights. You know what I mean? And it's so shameful. And it's such a gross way, which is always how it has been in history, right? We want to denigrate an entire group of people in the name of, right? In the name of parental rights, in the name of protecting our children, in the name of protecting our jobs, in the name of, it's always to denigrate a poor minority in order to
save something, right?
For some other godly reason. It's always bullshit. It's never something that's a real, no one needs to ban books. It's like such a fake fucking problem.
Well, and the fact that they put this on a newsletter and thought that they could just throw Hitler's name on there.
I mean...
And that people in that group are like, yes. And the quote is, he alone who owns the youth gains the future. So this is what it's about. When you talk about like, oh, they're coming after, that's what they scream, they're coming after our kids. That quote shows you that they're coming after our children.
Right.
That they want control of the kids. They want to control what children learn. Because that whole group of kids are going to grow up and vote one day. So if they can manipulate how they learn about history, and if they can indoctrinate them into hatred, then they have this power on their side. That's what it's about. It says it right there in the quote.
Yeah.
And it's the hypocrisy that they're coming after people. And that kind of ties into this whole like DeSantis, the bill.
Wait, before you go to that, let me just say this though too. The fact that they read the quote, also saw that it was Adolf Hitler that said it, and it didn't even occur to them that what they stand for is also what Hitler stood for. Yeah. One of the most evil human beings on the face of the planet ever to exist. They don't put 2 and 2 together. It shows you how fucking idiotic they are.
Well, and the fact
I mean, how do you not see that what you believe and what you're fighting for aligns with Hitler?
Well, but they like him, so.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they're not trying to fucking hide who they are. And they're too dumb even to see it. They're too dumb.
Well, they're too dumb to think that people aren't going to react to that newsletter.
And they think they know what's best for everyone's children.
And the fact that, like, somebody, you know, said, oh, let's put this quote there. And then someone had to put it in the layout. And then someone had to edit it. Like,
Tina!
how many eyes were on this thing before?
But how many what eyes? White women. White women eyes. Right? That's what it was. White people. Because they don't see, it's the same thing like advertising. You can always tell when there wasn't a person of color in the room. Right? Because it just reads white. And it is like in an inappropriate fucking way. You know? Where people aren't included in the conversation, or someone doesn't go, this is gonna play the wrong way.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Same thing here. Same thing. And we've said this before. You can tell that they don't read books. I mean, they want to ban books because they don't understand the power that it has. And if you don't understand the power that Adolf Hitler used those words and the way he expressed them and the way that he used tone, I mean, this is exactly what you're doing. Harassing people. What were you going to say about DeSantis?
So, well, the recent, the transgender ban didn't go through. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up.
The federal judge banned it. Blocked it.
Yeah, it blocked it because it was in direct contrast with DeSantis's own parental right bill that says that parents have the right to, that's the funniest part of it, that parents in his own bill say that they have the right for like the religious moral, you know, they have the right to make those judgments for their family and for their kids. And then he has this other bill that's like, we're not going to let you do this. And it's like, dude, you just signed a bill that said, yeah, parents can do that very thing. So that was like the best. It's like, you dipshit.
Right, which was what a lot of people were screaming.
Dipshit.
Yeah. He's an idiot. But also, Ashley Moody, stop carrying the water for this guy. You look like a fucking dick.
Oh my God.
And you know she's going to try to run for something else too. You're an asshole.
Nobody likes you either.
Nobody likes you, baby. Nobody likes you. The other bill that was blocked by a federal judge was the ban on drag shows, or the whatever these rules of having at a drag show.
Thank you, Hamburger Mary.
Yes, so this is why we need people to challenge these laws. You know,
because it shows it's hurting their business. Yes, this is their business, and government can't do that.
Absolutely, and it's a very, you know, fascism will continue to push the fascism on us. But as long as we have people and organizations and companies that are willing to put it down and challenge it, these things will be stopped. And he can go all over the country, all he wants, talking like this. The second he gets in a debate and he starts doing that, every single person on stage can go, that's blocked, that's blocked. They're all going to say it.
Hopefully.
Until the host does, you know, I mean, hopefully that'll happen. But he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he had a fucking press conference. He went to San Francisco and he's like, look at all the homeless, dirty, blah, blah. That's what it's like in Florida. How many people are going to be homeless in Florida soon, sir?
Well, oh my God. That alone. I mean, and we know that there is, a homeless crisis here. I mean,
everywhere, I'm sure.
But you know, in places like California, Florida, where it's warmer, you know, that I think has a lot to do with it too, because the weather is better, and you know, there are things that it's not as inclement to like sleep outside in the cold and whatnot. But instead of doing things to help the situation and help with having shelters or food banks or things like that, nobody gives a shit about that. They don't want to invest in mental health. They don't want to invest in any social support systems. And then he wants to go crying about how he's watching people do meth on the corner or something in California.
I gotta tell you.
He's so full of shit.
There's something...
He is so full of shit.
Yeah, and it's also like, I'm sure it was a dig at Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom basically gives DeSantis a wedgie every single time he's on TV, you know, like verbally.
And he's so desperate to try to take it down, but he can't.
But it's just, I can't tell you as a Floridian how horrific it is to watch this man go all over the place and talk about how great Florida is and how wonderful. Listen, Florida is filled with the most wonderful, beautiful, amazing people you're ever going to meet. Are there Florida men and women? Sure. I'm sure I've been a Florida woman from time to time. But There are great people here. There are great companies here. There are great organizations here. We care about the country as much as everybody else does. There's just a louder voice that votes more than the people who should be voting. But to see him go all over the country talking about how great Florida is and how bad other places are, it's laughable. It's fucking laughable. And
we're 50th, I think now. 50th in education now.
And he's like, he's in his own head. It's like, because the numbers don't match what he's saying. Like what you're saying. Like the things don't make sense. He's just making shit up. And he wants to denigrate Trump. You are Trump. This is what Trump did. Trump went all over the fucking place and talked about how great he was, how all the things he was going to do, how great he was during his administration. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. But his numbers are bad. And so...
Except in Florida.
Yeah, DeSantis is polling really bad across the country. So I'm hoping that everyone else is smarter than the people who vote here.
Oh, God. I don't know. Well, the other person that is just as cuckoo, but on the Democratic side, is that Robert...
oh, my God.
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
This is an anti-vaxxer Democrat nutjob who's, like, buddies with, like, Joe Rogan and Trump. Like, when, you know, that's your sign. Anybody that Joe Rogan likes, anybody that is, you know, lining up with like all the people that you see Trump with, that means he's bad. I don't even know how he has a Democrat bias in his name. And you know who he's married to?
I know who he's married to. It's very upsetting.
I am so upset about it.
He's married to Cheryl Hines, who plays Larry David's wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And
I don't know why I didn't know that.
Kill her off the show. Kill her off the show. I can't take it.
Larry, it's time for her.
Yeah, they were married a couple of years ago. You know what? I think I tweeted this, and I thought it was so good, and I was hoping it would be shared across the world. But I tweeted something that was, we've gone so far around the world, like around in time, that a Kennedy that's a Democrat is running for president, and even Democrats are like, go fuck that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Kennedy,
you got the name Kennedy coming back to life, and you got this.
Yeah, it used to be like a name that meant something. And this guy in politics, I mean, you know, they were a powerhouse family, and now you've got this fucking guy. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was married into the Shriver Kennedy family, is more revered now than Robert Kennedy.
I watched
Jr.
that documentary.
Did you like it? I haven't seen it.
I liked it.
You know, I covered Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, well, the whole
good.
time I'm like, you know, the whole time I'm like, ugh, you bastard.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very interesting to hear his
incredible human being.
Yeah, I mean, and that he. You know, and I can't remember because it's been so long since we did it on the show, but the fact that he really did try, he put Democrats on his staff, like deliberately to like try to build these bridges. And it's California, so like, okay, you kind of maybe have to do that, but like
there's things about him that, but also like I admire the coming up story, you know, someone who had, someone who just did everything he could to get out of and to be something. I mean, I think that's incredible.
Yeah, we watched that, and then we watched Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, I told my kids we gotta watch it. I saw it on there. I'm like, this movie's so fucking funny. I have
not seen it.
Oh,
probably since
it's not a tumor.
But there's so many other things happening in that movie. Yeah, like, I don't remember. And because I watched it as like a younger person, that I was like, oh, like what, like you know, like things that kind of go over your head.
Yeah. Okay, a couple other things. We had Lauren Book on. Senator Lauren Book was on last Friday. I hope you listened to it. I listened to it. It's so good. I love her, love her, love her. You know, I'm upset that this is her last term, but you know what? She's she's the person we needed there at this time to help us get through all of the things that are happening there. And I know that Senator Jason Pizzo is also next in line, so we're in good hands. So please go listen to it. Let us know what you think. Send Lauren some love. She's really up there fighting, and they need all the love and support from us that they can get.
Yes.
I wanted to mention this. I don't know. Were you a fan of Sex and the City when it was on?
Oh, original?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Did you watch the first movie?
I watched the first movie. Was that the wedding one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, it all went to shit.
Okay, good. Thanks. Okay. That's how I feel. I went to the first movie. I was like, yeah. Although I'm more of an Aiden fan than a big fan.
I am more of an Aiden fan too.
So when I saw that he's like sneak peek coming back in the second season of
Aiden?
Yeah, and just like that is their new spinoff of the show. So Aiden's supposed to be coming back, and I was like excited about it. because the second movie was terrible. I went with my friend Lauren.
I don't even remember.
And I think Alexis. And then we went to go see the second movie. It was fucking horrible. I remember thinking, this is terrible. They went to Abu Dhabi.
Oh, I think I may have seen it.
Behind the scenes of like having to wear their burqas, these women like were all into fashion. It was fucking weird. And Aiden was there because her marriage with Big was kind of slumping, and she saw Aiden there.
Like she just runs into him like in a marketplace. Random,
yeah. It's just it was so fucking bad.
And he has a baby, or is that before?
That was on the show.
That was on the show. Yeah.
So, but the thing about Sex and the City is, you love these characters, and they were funny, and it was like it was so funny, and like I don't know, whatever. You fell in love with all these people. So this new show comes on, and just like that.
I think I watched one episode, and I couldn't get through it.
It's so fucking bad. And they introduce these new characters because Samantha's not there, which, by the way, you can really tell that Samantha's not there. She's the one who really brought a lot of the comic relief of the show.
She's my favorite out of all.
Of course. And so it's definitely lacking with her. But then they bring in these other characters who I don't give a fuck about. I don't care about these women. I don't care about their story. It's a lot of the complaints about the first season. It was like it was trying to be too woke. Like one of Charlotte's daughters wants to be is non-binary. She wants to be called they them. It was a whole, and Charlotte's got to deal with that. Oh, what's Charlotte Upper East Side gonna? It's just like, who fucking cares?
Charlotte, relax already. You're not freaked out by now.
Here's the worst thing that happened in the first season.
Like she would be on so many pills by now.
Yeah. Here's the worst thing that happened in the first season is that Miranda left Steve for a person who's also non-binary, and like, great, sure, run away, but like, crush this guy, and everybody loves Steve. And he was fucking heartbroken. Heartbroken. Oh yeah, spoiler.
Was everything for her.
Yeah, and it was just like, it's just bad. So
it was cute when they finally got together.
Yeah. So
she was always mean to him, though.
The first season was not good, and also Mr. Big dies. You knew that.
Oh, I think I saw that one.
Big dies.
Where he's like in the
first
shower.
episode. Yeah. It's not good. You know, and also like, I can't fucking do it.
And then she's like not dealing with the funeral or something.
So here we come with this second season. And I'm like, all right.
Why did they have to kill him off?
But
they can't split up again? Because they're probably like, shit, we can't
split up like,
again.
When that finally aired or whatever, all that shit came out about that actor, Chris Noth, was like a major piece of shit. Or North, I don't know, whatever. Noth.
Yeah.
Okay, so, hashtag me too, right? And so fucking season 2 comes out, like, I don't know, this week. I watched the first 2 episodes. I didn't even get through the second episode. It's so fucking bad. And what kills me is we just had this conversation a few weeks ago. Just stop. Like, after the first movie, she marries Big. The ending is they got married. They had that beautiful breakfast with all their friends at a diner. Like, let them live happily ever after. Stop resurrecting these characters who now they're all like super wealthy and they don't have any struggles.
And we already thought that it was bullshit when she was living in that apartment.
Yeah, and also now I'm involved in the lives of these other people who I don't know and don't give a fuck about. This I can't do it. Stop it. You're killing me. And what you're doing is you're killing my love for the show.
You ruined the show.
You have ruined it. Stop with the fucking... And I didn't... The only reason I thought Aiden's going to show up. I'm going to see this sweet angel baby. I loved him. She fucked over that guy. I don't like what she did to Aiden, right? And he didn't even show up yet. And I'm never going to see him show up because I'm not watching it anymore. Stop doing this.
And why is he going to show up? What, they're going to get back... If they get back together...
They're going to get back together! And then what?
I'm already tired.
Then he'll die in season 3? Get the fuck out of here. Stop it. Leave it alone. And stop making these shows. And I hate to say this because...
She did screw him over.
She did. But I hate to say this too, but I'd rather see... Like there was... Oh God. I'm going to lose my feminist card right now. There was a group of like younger women walking by them and I'm like, camera, follow them! I want to see what they're going to do. Who are they going to go fuck? Who are they going to go mess with? Who are they going to go date?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear about Carrie and like, there's this beautiful man she's like dating in the first episode, or like she's just sleeping with him on Thursdays. And she literally calls somebody for advice of, what do you think I should do? And I'm like, that's your job.
Yeah, you were the advice columnist.
Yeah. Why don't you sit down at the Mac and figure it the fuck out? Ugh, the show makes no fucking sense. Okay, finally.
Carrie Bradshaw.
Like, last thing is that you sent me a TikTok and I wanted to talk about it.
Oh, yes.
There is somebody on TikTok named Violet Tarantula. The Duchess.
Yeah.
And a fellow Florida person.
Oh, God. And we sympathize.
Yeah, we do. But I guess in the middle of June, this one post on Facebook started to become, what do they call it?
Trending.
Thank you. About How to Catch a Predator, To Catch a Predator, the show, the NBC show that used to be on, and how they're like, did you know this ended because blah, blah, blah. And so this person, I don't know their pronouns, so I just want to say that they, them.
That's fine.
They saw the post and they started to go down this rabbit hole, and what did they find but our episode 3, which is called Like Evil Idiots, where I covered how the show ended, and good. I forgot how crazy that story is. Yeah. And
it is insane.
It's insane. So they made this whole TikTok and they pointed out our episode, and I said to Tina, I said, I'm going to go look on our hosting site to see like how many times it's been downloaded. And it was downloaded like 30 times in one day.
Yeah.
Because I think it started trending. People started searching for it and found that episode and listened to it, which is crazy. And then I was like, oh God, I wish it was a recent episode and not like when our audio was probably different and we probably sounded different.
Please.
I know.
That's who we were. That's who we were. It's that moment in time.
It's so good. Anyway,
but yeah,
go listen to
much.
it. Yes, thank you. And that episode is so good.
Yeah, there's so many, thinking back to like the things that we covered, I'm like, dang.
I know.
We covered some good stuff. Why don't you let people know?
Yeah. Tell people what your favorite episode is.
Yes.
Oh my God.
My God.
That's one of my favorites.
So good.
So good. So.
Do I get to relax?
Yes. Oh, don't look at my screen.
I'm not looking.
Okay. Today.
Okay.
I am covering.
Okay.
Former governor of New Jersey, James McGreevey. Do you know James?
No.
Oh my
gosh. New Jersey.
It's Jersey,
baby.
Is my hair big enough for Jersey yet?
It's big enough for Jersey. Where's Teresa?
Shout out Jersey.
Teresa and Joe Giudice. Are those two Teresa married?
No. Didn't he get shipped back to Italy, I think?
Probably. Yeah. He never can come back again?
And I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's crazy.
I know. Okay, so Jim McGreevey was born in Jersey City, New Jersey on August 6, 1957, and he was from an Irish Catholic family, and he grew up in nearby Carteret, New Jersey. He attended St. Joseph Elementary School and St. Joseph High School. He attended the Catholic University of America before graduating from Columbia University in 1978. He earned his Juris Doctor from the Georgetown University Law Center in 1981 and a master's degree in education from Harvard University in 1982. He also attended a summer diploma program in law at the London School of Economics. Super educated.
Wow.
Also read that his dad was like a Marine drill sergeant, so...
Oh, okay, so...
A super strict house.
Yeah, I was going to say he had a lot of structure, I'm sure.
Yeah. So prior to entering politics, McGreevey was an assistant prosecutor and executive director of the state parole board. He taught ethics, law, and leadership at Keene University in Union, New Jersey, and he was a member of the New Jersey General Assembly, representing the 19th Legislative District from 1990 to 92, and then he became the mayor of Woodbridge Township in New Jersey. He was elected to mayor in 95 and 99, and then he was elected to the New Jersey Senate in 1993, which he simultaneously served as mayor during those 4 years. Which is kind of crazy, right?
How do you do that?
I don't know, but we've said this before.
Yeah.
So some places must maybe allow it.
That's weird, though.
Maybe because the legislative session's so long, and then you can come back and still do, or he could come back for the meetings. Something. I don't know.
That's weird.
It is weird. Okay. I know you're gonna know the story as soon as we get into it. But McGreevey first ran for governor in 1997, but was defeated in a close race by the incumbent Republican Christine Todd Whitman. McGreevey ran for the governorship again in 2001 and won 56% of the vote. And after being elected, he inherited a $5 billion budget deficit.
Wow.
Big problems, right?
Billion?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Billion. So during his...
Always the Republicans that fuck shit up, and then the Democrats got to come... He's a Democrat, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Democrats come back in, and they got to fix it. Mm-hmm. And then everyone's, like, bitching.
Yeah.
And then they elect another Republican, and then everything goes to shit again.
True.
It's such a fucking cycle.
It's fun. Bullshit. It's so much fun. Like a circus. Round and round we go.
Round and round, baby.
Uh-oh. Round and around, baby.
You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, right round.
So many people in my life with just songs just pop into their head. They start singing it. Tina's one of them. And God bless, there's a microphone always right in front of her when she does. Thank God. Thank God.
Oh my God.
During his term, McGreevey raised the tax on cigarettes and increased the state income tax for the wealthy. Trying to
get rid of that $5 billion debt.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So he was raised Roman Catholic, but maintained a pro-choice stance on abortion. And he stated as governor that he would not receive communion at public church services.
Okay, good for you.
Probably wasn't allowed to. I don't know if it was his idea.
Yeah,
but
well, hey.
Yeah.
Well, they were probably like, you either have to be against abortion or you don't get communion. There's probably a threat somewhere.
Yeah.
St. Joseph's.
You can move that back. You don't have to be so close. There you go. Among McGreevey's accomplishments were auto insurance reform, implementing a stem cell research plan for New Jersey, heavily lobbying for the state's first domestic partnership law for same-sex couples, and then signing that into law in 2004.
Lobbying all of this.
Although McGreevey's term was controversial, with questions about the credentials of several of his appointees to pay-to-play and extortion scandals involving backers and key New Jersey Democratic fundraisers, including businessman Charles Kushner.
Oh, no.
So, we all know Charles Kushner.
No.
We covered him on one of my favorite, best ever episodes. I love this episode of my podcast. It's episode 20.
Wow.
20, Tina.
That's wild. That's
It's
like
called
Papa.
It's called Papa and Baby Kush. And if you search Papa and Baby Kush, it's the first thing that shows up on Google,
God.
which I fucking love. But Tina did Papa
Kush.
and I did Baby, right? Isn't that how we did
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So,
and of course, Baby Kush is Jared Kushner, who's married to Ivanka Trump. But Charles Kushner, his dad, was in. Chris Christie went after him. Remember?
Yeah. I remember that there was a water, some kind of development deal.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if there's a.
He went to jail for a bunch of crazy things with money, but one of them was getting involved with this McGreevey. So a couple of the controversies. First, McGreevey was criticized for appointing Golan Sipple as Homeland Security Advisor because he lacked experience or qualifications for the position. In addition, Sipple could not gain security approval from the federal government as he was Israeli and not a U.S. citizen. McGreevey met him in Israel during a trip there in 2000. McGreevey brought up Sippel's name 6 weeks into his administration in a February 14th, 2002 interview with The Record, or their editorial board, at its offices saying, quote, "We will not skimp on security. We actually," by the way, he got elected November 2001, so it's right after 9/11.
Okay.
Right? So that's why the security question was a big thing.
Okay.
So he said, quote, "We will not skimp on security. We actually brought on a security advisor from the Israeli Defense Forces, probably the best in the world," end quote. The interview prompted news investigation into Sippel's background. On February 21st, The Record published a profile of Sippel, calling him a, quote, sailor and a, quote, poet, end quote. The article stated...
What? He's just
what are they hinting at? What do you think they're hinting at?
He's on a yacht, fucking drinking.
No.
Just relaxing with his poetry, like
No.
not doing any work.
So let me set the stage for you, okay? This is 2001. I know it's been 22 years, but this was still a time when you would hint at things in the paper instead of actually saying it.
Because he likes poetry?
You would say code words. Yeah, you would say things like that, instead of actually saying like here's what it is.
He's a sailor who likes poetry equals he's gay.
That's that's what people read into. That's how people read into it. The article stated, quote, "Democrats close to the administration say McGreevey and Sipple have struck up a close friendship and frequently travel together." End quote.
Oh, I see where this is going.
This prompted McGreevey's own mother to confront him about his sexual orientation.
But let McGreevey be McGreevey, man.
I mean, come on. Various media organizations sent reporters to Israel to ask questions about Sipple and his background. In August 2002,
oh my God,
they could tell there was a story, right?
Yeah, but who cares? Like, they got billions of dollars debt. There's all this other stuff going on. Like, leave these two alone. So
okay, let me also yes, he is married, McGreevey. But let me also remind you of this. This is also the time when you had Anthony Weiner running around.
Oh,
you had what was the guy who was the governor of New York, the bald guy with his socks. Elliot Spitzer.
Oh God, Spitzer.
So it's Spitzer, right? It's a time of Spitzer. It's a time of Weiner. Like all these people, things were being opened up, and like here's the story. And they're like, there's something here. Like that was of that time. Okay.
And he's married.
So, and
why
is he hiring this guy? He's not even American.
Been,
he can't get the credentials. All right. So, in August 2002, at McGreevey's request, Sipple stepped down from his position as Homeland Security Advisor. So other scandals were these payoffs and bribes or whatever. So David Diamano, a key McGreevey fundraiser, was ultimately sentenced to 2 years in prison for extorting $40,000 from a farmer named Mark Halper, a Middlesex County landowner cooperating with the investigators. In the 47-page indictment, there are repeated references to the involvement of, quote, state official one, later revealed to be McGreevey. Ooh. In a conversation with Halper, Halper is going along, right? He's cooperating. He's wearing a microphone. And in a conversation with Halper, McGreevey used the word Machiavelli, the code arranged by Diamano, intended to assure the farmer that his $40,000 campaign contribution would get him preferential treatment in a dispute over his land. So that code word, the cops knew, or whatever, FBI knew what that meant, and then McGreevey said it, and it was like,
well,
fuck,
now
you're
fucked.
fucked.
Now he's screwed.
So McGreevey was also involved in facilitating ventures to profit Charles Kushner, a billionaire real estate developer who later went to jail for crimes related to his financial support for the governor and other political figures.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And Kushner reportedly introduced Sipple to McGreevey as an inducement to seal his loyalty. And
wow.
Also, so I'm about to tell you what the scandal is. And recently, I read this article, I think it was Vanity Fair, it's in our notes, but it was June of 2022, last year. Now it's come out that it's possible that Kushner, who was not happy with things happening with McGreevey, dropped the dime to the media about what Sipple's relationship was to fuck over McGreevey. So
wow, what a jerk.
Yeah, so let's get into the scandal. So of course he lets Sipple go, and Sipple's like, fuck you, I'm getting an attorney. And I'm going to file a lawsuit against you. So on the afternoon of August 12th, 2004, faced with threats from Sipple's lawyer Alan Lowy, Sipple would file a sexual harassment lawsuit against him in Mercer County Court. McGreevey then held a press conference. And this is a very famous press conference. This is how I know you would know it if you saw this wife standing. It was time of the good wife, right?
Oh,
the good wife women. Is supporting and standing next to her husband.
The cheating man.
I mean, just once I'd like them to say, I'm not fucking showing up at a press conference. Go fuck yourself. So at the press conference, he said, quote, at a point in every person's life, one has to look deeply into the mirror of one's soul and decide one's unique truth in the world, not as we may want to see it or hope to see it, but as it is. And so my truth is that I am a gay American, end quote.
I mean,
yeah.
And this is also stereotypes. 2001, he grew up in a time where you couldn't come out, and he's Irish Catholic, so there's a lot of things that and maybe his wife knew, or who knows.
She didn't know.
Oh, she didn't know.
But also, where's the press conference of I didn't do this? No, he's like, fuck it, I'm out. I can't. What are you gonna do? This is what it is, and that's it. I'm ready.
And I mean, yes, we've talked about this before. Cheat on his wife, shitty.
Yeah.
He's having an affair, whether it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
Now, if he's doing other shit with the money and the bribery and that stuff, well, then that's a culpable offense.
Yes, that's what should piss people off.
Yeah, as far as your political leadership.
I mean, I've had Jim McGreevey on my list for a long time, and I haven't done it because I just felt like, well, what's the big deal? He was gay, and I still feel that way. I still do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that he finally was able to come out. I feel sad that he had to live the life that he did. But when we cover people like this, we've covered people who we find out later on they're gay, and while they're in office, they're voting against gay rights. They're voting against gay marriage. They're voting, same-sex marriage. They're very adamant about how gays are coming after your children, and then you find out later on that they're actually gay. That's not the case here.
Yeah.
So I always felt like, well, is it really controversial? I mean, but the money thing is
the
what
money
pisses
thing.
Me off.
No, you can't, and you're involved with Kushner.
I know. Come on, bad news.
That's the bad news right there.
So he also said that he had, quote, engaged in an adult consensual affair with another man, end quote, and his aides in his office immediately named Sipple that was the person. Ooh. And that he would resign effective November 15th, 2004. So this happened in August, right?
So he's resigning because of the affair? Oh, because it was someone that was part of the staff.
Well, he's resigning because, listen, at that time, he's lied. What is he going to do? I mean, and maybe to take the heat off of him for all the money stuff that was coming out. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, but of course, he says November, this is August, that's three more months in office. But he's doing that for a reason, and we'll talk about that. So McGreevey's announcement made him the first openly gay state governor in the United States history. The Star-Ledger won the 2005 Pulitzer Prize for breaking news reporting for its, quote, coverage of the resignation of New Jersey's governor after he announced he was gay and confessed to adultery with a male lover, end quote. McGreevey's decision to delay the effective date of his resignation until after September 3rd, 2004, avoided a special election in November to replace the governor. Doing so allowed the Democratic Party to retain control of the governorship for the rest of the 4-year term. So his term ended in January 2006. But if he were to leave in August and not November, the Republicans, there'd have to be a special election, and there was a good chance
that a Republican could win.
Right, and so he's like, let's be strategic about this.
Delays it, and then because of that, like, it's a regular...
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
So it avoided the prospect of a special election in tandem with the presidential election, which could have resulted in a Republican victory and helped George W. Bush capture New Jersey electoral votes. Almost immediately after McGreevey's announcement, New Jersey Republicans and Democrats had called upon the governor not to wait until November and to resign immediately. But he was like, "Fuck that! Let's hold on a second. Let's be smart, right?"
Right.
An editorial.
I'm glad somebody's thinking.
Yeah, an editorial.
Jesus.
For the first time in his life, he's clear. He's clear.
A Democrat's thinking.
Yeah.
Having a planning ahead.
Wow! What a concept! What a concept! Oh my God. So an editorial in the New York Times read, quote, "Mr. McGreevey's strategy to delay resignation does not serve New Jersey's residents well. The state will be led by an embattled governor mired in personal and legal problems for 3 months," end quote. Doesn't happen. On September 15th, U.S. District Judge Garrett E. Brown Jr. dismissed Afrin versus McGreevey, filed by Green Party lawyers Bruce Afrin and Carl J. Mayer, dismissing their claim that the postponement of McGreevey's resignation had left a vacancy, thereby violating New Jersey's residents' voting rights. But he's resigning months later. He didn't resign in August and then stayed there, you know?
Right.
Brown stated that McGreevey, quote, clearly intends to hold office until November 15th, 2004. The requirement of holding a special election does not arise. The rights of registered voters are not being violated, end quote. So fellow Democrat and New Jersey Senate President Richard Cody took office upon McGreevey's resignation and served the remainder of his term until January 2006. So he does into November, and then the Senate President comes in. That way, you have a Democrat there for the final 2 years, which is what the point was.
Yeah.
At the time of McGreevey's resignation, the New Jersey State Constitution stipulated that the Senate President retains that position while serving as acting governor. So he served in both positions. Intense public attention and political pressure directed to the issue of gubernatorial succession in the wake of McGreevey's resignation resulted in a 2006 amendment to the state constitution that created the post of Lieutenant Governor of New Jersey, which didn't exist until this.
Wow.
They're like, wait, who's supposed to step up?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy that it was in the 2000s.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts?
That's nuts.
So he wrote a memoir called The Confession in 2006. Oh. In The Confession, McGreevey describes the duality of his life before he came out as gay. He said, quote, "As glorious and meaningful as it would have been to have a loving and sound sexual experience with another man, I knew I'd have to undo my happiness step by step as I began chasing my dream of a public career and the kind of acceptable life that went with it. So instead, I settled for the detached anonymity of bookstores and rest stops, a compromise, but one that was wholly unfulfilling and morally unsatisfactory," end quote.
Wow.
And also it sucks that we even had a time when you can't be openly gay and run for office, you know? I mean, what a different time even just 20 years makes, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, he's super religious. And obviously now that he's out, he's not going back to the Catholic Church. Like, that's not going to be acceptable. So he becomes Episcopalian. And he went back to school. He gets accepted to the General Theological Seminary, from which he received the degree of Master of Divinity, a prerequisite to become an Episcopal priest. So, like, his faith was really, really important to him, which it is for a lot of people in the LGBTQ community. You know, when you're raised in this belief and this understanding, it's hard to let that go, especially when it means so much to you. And it clearly was a big part of his life, you know. In 2009, McGreevey told the New York Times that he volunteered for Exodus Ministries, where he performed service to former prisoners seeking rehabilitation at the Church of Living Hope in Harlem, New York. On November 16, 2009, WCBS TV reported that McGreevey was continuing his training at All Saints Episcopal Church in Hoboken. An April 2011 report indicated that McGreevey's bid for ordination had been rejected, so he wasn't able to become an Episcopal priest.
Well, but still, he can serve in some other way.
Yeah. He worked at Integrity House at the Hudson County Correctional Facility with women inmates with a history of drug use. So in July 2013, McGreevey was appointed executive director of Jersey City's Employment and Training Program. Oh. The program, which provides re-entry coaching for those released from prison, along with other services such as job opportunities and training and substance abuse rehabilitation. Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop felt as though McGreevey was a valuable asset to have in that position relating to his 10 plus years working in the government. So a little bit about his personal life. McGreevey separated from his wife. It was his second marriage to Dina Matos, who was standing next to him at the press conference, and they share a daughter together. And after he revealed that he was gay, they separated, and then he, in late 2005, entered into a relationship with Australian-American executive Mark O'Donnell, and they're still together today. They live in Plainfield, New Jersey. In her memoirs, Dina Matos wrote that she would have never married McGreevey if she had known he was a homosexual, nor would she have chosen to have a homosexual man father her child.
Ew, this is who he's married to? Jesus.
Yeah. By the way, that's the press conference where I have the picture. It's like a really famous picture where she's just looking at him like side-eyed during the press conference.
Jesus. Yeah. He could have, God, dude, he could have found a chick that was a little more, you know,
understanding.
Yeah. Wow.
What are you gonna do? I know. So
God, imagine what he had to listen to. You know what I mean? Or shit that she made.
It was a contentious divorce. I had stuff in there about the divorce, but it's not necessary. But it got messy. He wanted her, and he wanted child support. He wanted the daughter, and that didn't happen. They got like joint custody, but still. And he wanted like alimony from her. She wanted money from him. It was like it was a mess. And she's probably super embarrassed, which I understand, but also like, you know, wouldn't you rather your husband tell you what's up? Yeah. And let him go live his life, and then you can go find someone who actually is into the fajay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Can give you what you need, honey, because you know that shit ain't fucking happening.
No,
that wasn't happening.
No,
get yours, girl. Yes. Get your groove back, bitch.
Ooh, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
In October 2015, McGreevey moved from Plainfield to Jersey City, sparking rumors that he might run for mayor.
Oh.
And he denied the rumors, but as of the beginning of 2023, he had not made any further bid for elected office. However, with current mayor Stephen Fulop retiring to run for governor, McGreevey's name was floated among potential candidates to succeed him, with Union City Mayor and State Senator Brian P. Stack endorsing his potential bid, and actually read an article this week from the New York Post that said that he's considering running for mayor of this little city.
Run. Considering means he's running.
So he's back in it, which kind of makes me super happy, because he seems to like being a public servant. You know?
And he did a lot of work.
Yeah.
But he never got in trouble for the Machiavelli.
I think all that stuff went away.
It all went away? Oh. All right. Well,
like now he's out of office, so.
Yep. I mean, and it's probably he's not going to get in trouble for it now.
Because
years passed.
Kushner Kushner ended up going to jail for that.
Yeah. Ooh.
Chris Christie, remember? Chris Christie went after him hard.
Christie.
Who's now running for president?
Jesus.
So good.
All these people running for office. It's a big mess.
It's a mess.
Get me out.
It's a mess. I know.
Get me out. All right, well, that's it.
That's it.
We're going to go collect petitions later today.
Yes.
To get reproductive rights on the ballot. So, you know, that's good. Good stuff. That's good stuff. Hopefully Florida does the right thing. I'm very nervous, though, like, once it gets on the ballot and, you know, overwhelmingly people are going to vote for it. And then what loophole is this governor going to find to, you know,
they've already come up with you know that they're already know that we know they're going to do something.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work in it, and, you know.
But at least, again, it gets it on the record that hundreds of thousands of people more voted or want what's right for women.
Yeah, if we only lived in a state where that actually fucking mattered, right? If we actually lived in a state where the voter's voice meant something, then maybe it would do some good. It better.
And that's the thing, too. Like,
this is our last chance. What else do we have?
We have such a bad reputation in Florida. And people don't realize that when people are like, oh, well, you voted for him. And it's like, well, no, there's a lot of people that didn't vote for him. And there's gerrymandering. there's restrictions, the restrictions putting on vote that DeSantis has put on voting and the ability to access voting. Like, it's all of these roadblocks that are put in the way. And so the everyday average Floridian, maybe in certain parts of Florida, love this guy, but like where it's actual like cities, you know, like the southern part of the state, mid to southern part of the state, like they don't like him. Yeah. So it sucks being lumped up with like these assholes.
What are you gonna do?
But you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's the end.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.